Hey, how's it going? You, you
You're
guys are here for Heavy Art Talk. I got my co-hosts, Lucas, Mark Riddick, Lucas Korte, of course. But yeah, if you guys can see from the title, we're going to be doing some death metal drawing. I haven't gone live in a while, so I'm a little rusty here. And StreamYard, the platform that I'm using, is a little. They're changing their UI all the time. So if I ever kind of fumble over anything, thanks for your grace in advance. But yeah, now that we're live, you guys want to just kind of get right into it, or you want to chat a little bit?
Well, I don't care.
Just go right into it. I think.
Yeah, let's do it. And thank you everybody for joining in the chat, watching live. If you are creating some kind of drawing, inking, painting, or whatever, feel free to tag me on Instagram. I'd love to share it in the stories and whatnot. But I definitely encourage other artists to kind of draw alongside us. Something that I really like with this show is people even in the replay, but live, just kind of creating at the same time as we are and just kind of like being a fly on the wall. So I definitely encourage that. And I think that's a fun way of going about things. But yeah, thank you again for everybody in the chat. So we're going to start with just briefly going over the albums that we picked and the ones we're going to be paying tribute to in our own way. And then we'll go right into the drawing, inking, painting. Every artist basically has their own choice of how they're going to tackle it. All right. So up first, Mark, you're going to be doing Morbid Angel's Altars of Madness.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me a little bit why you picked this one. How are you going to go about it?
No real strong particular reason. It's definitely one of my favorites. I can't say that is my absolute favorite by any means, but it's up there, with the old school stuff. Kind of growing up on old school death metal, underground and more accessible stuff. But yeah, so Dan Seagrave, obviously one of his probably most known works, I would say. He had done some work for Earache prior, I think for maybe like Lawnmower Death or what was the other band, Desecrator or something like that. I can't remember. So he's still kind of in like his cartoony phase. It's before he really found his true visual identity, I feel like. So it's kind of a fun time in his art career, I'd say. Like in terms of his execution, it's just a little bit different, right?
Mm-hmm.
A little bit more playful, I would say. And it's not to diminish. The reason why I think it's not to diminish Dan's work on it. I think he did an amazing job on the album cover. He was also really young when he did it. I think you have here noted as well. He's 18 years old, so to be that accomplished at 18 is pretty damn impressive. But I just wanted to try to take a different avenue on it, kind of stay more along the lines of just the subject matter of the album title, and just kind of thinking about maybe what some of their inspirations may have been when recording that album, and also being a black and white artist, thinking about Abominations of Desolation, have black and white artwork as well. So maybe just kind of carrying on that thematic, but definitely Altars of Madness, and I would say Covenant are probably my two favorite Morbid Angel albums, the two that I frequent the most, I'd say. And I did listen to Altars of Madness recently, passing of Mike Browning. I did spin it about a week or two ago. But anyhow, yeah, that's why I picked it. I just want to do like at my own kind of vantage point. Like if Morbid Angel came to me in '89 and said, "Do an album cover," it obviously wouldn't look this good at age, in 1989. I was, I don't know what, 13. But I just wanted to give my own vantage point on it, to give it my own, my own spin on it. So yeah, that's it.
Oh yeah, man. I guess when we flip the cameras around, you can then kind of show what you're talking about with like it being a different perspective. And
yeah,
I think it's cool too that it's for the way that you kind of like tackled the assignment. It's like, what if you were commissioned to do it?
Right.
Whereas I'm kind of like approaching mine a bit different. Here, let me make you a little bigger.
Yeah, I'll show the processes really briefly. I don't want to take up too much time, so we get straight into inking. But yeah. So I just sketched out my loose idea on a sketchbook, just a loose pen pen drawing, and then I did a more refined sketch, and then with keeping in mind saving time, I took my sketch and then I printed out, I blew it out the contrast and black and white, just so that I can have like some basic line work. And I wanted to incorporate some of the elements of Seagrave's original piece, but have these sort of amorphous faces emanating from the altars. So, and it's all powered by the sealed Necronomicon. That's the direction I'm going in. But I wanted to get a printout of that just so I can get a little bit of a head start and have a more complete version by the time we're done here. I doubt I'll finish it, but it'll be a little further along.
Nice, man. Cool. And that's 8.5 by 11.
It is, yeah.
Hell yeah, man. All right. Suffocation, Pierce from Within.
Yeah. This, I mean, in my easily in my top 5 death metal albums of all time, which is kind of funny. I mean, I have my OG copy here from 1995.
Yeah.
I bought when it came out when I was 14 years old.
I lost mine by the press.
So, if you kind of talk about being like a Suffo fan now, people kind of assume that you're into like brutal death metal, and I'm not really a brutal death metal fan. This is obviously before like that kind of subgenre was sort of, specifically named by people. When I heard this album, it was like, I mean, I was already really into death metal by the time this dropped, but this album just blew me away. I mean, I probably listened to it so much that I would say like 95% of the lyrics memorized. Like I can sing along to just about every single song on this record. So it's one of my favorites. And this album cover is one that I spent just hours poring over as a teenager, really interested in art and drawing and painting myself. Just the atmosphere of it is just so fucking evocative. I don't know. This is one of those things that's like, this is one of those images that if someone was to ask you what does death metal look like, I'd be like, this is what it fucking looks like. Like this to me is what death metal looks like. I mean, I'll get into it more as I'm kind of drawing. I have a lot of stuff I want to say about it, but everything from like like the logo placement, the color choice for the logo, the fact that the original artwork is actually bluer. I have the from the early printing where it's really tinged green. Mine is really tinged green like that. But that yellow and like that slight orange, like it's not like a stroke, it's like a little drop shadow on the logo with that like greenish color scheme. And then the fact that bands were still doing the thing where they were like making a logo for the album title. It's like not like a font. It's not just like they just typed it in InDesign or some shit. That's like someone drew that. Someone designed that by hand. All of it just fucking just sells it for me. So I like a bad student but a good teacher didn't prep anything for this. So I'm just going to be drawing like parts of the album cover, attacking them in my own style, and kind of talking about what I think makes this record cover work for me. One of the things I think is funny is before we move on, I was trying to look up Hiro Takahashi Kiro information about him. The internet is 100% fucking convinced that he is the same guy who is in the pop band Tulip. And I do not, I mean, even Discogs, it's listed as the same fucking guy. And if somebody in the chat can tell if that's true or not, I am very fucking skeptical that they're the same person. The Hiro and Takahashi, both really common names in Japan, so it's kind of understandable why they might get mixed up. But I do not think they're the same person. I do not think the pop musician, Japanese pop musician, and the guy who did a couple of death metal album covers, like he did the cover for Sorrow too, and a couple of other things. I don't think they're the same guy. I'm pretty sure they're not the same guy.
Huh. I was going to recommend, since you like this album, it's probably, I think Effigy is probably my favorite, Human of Waste, but this would be the next one on my list for Suffocation.
I like Effigy too. I heard Effigy way later.
Oh, wow.
Than this album. When I heard this album, I hadn't really heard any death metal was quite like it, to be honest.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
it's definitely more on the technical side, but if you like this Pierce from Within album, I highly recommend from California band Laceration. They put
Oh
out,
yeah, I've heard of them. Yeah,
yeah, their last song they put out it's like a part 2 of Pierced from Within. In my
Nice.
opinion, it's really
Nice.
good.
I'll check it out.
Nice, man. Cool. And then I was kind of like racking my brain all week on which one I wanted to do. Since Mark did a Dan Seagrave, I didn't want to do another Dan Seagrave. And then in terms of the suffocation cover, I misremembered when we were just like texting about it. I thought you were doing effigies, so then that would have been another Dan Seagrave. So it's cool that each of us are tackling a different illustrator. Edge of Sandy Crimson. I love this album. Like, I think the sound's great. I'm a huge Michael Ackerfeld fan, so anything that he has vocals on, I'm going to be a fan of pretty much automatically. And, you know, the experience is basically one long song. I have the CD here. In terms of this cover, I think it's really interesting and unique. It almost has like some like pointillism like technique in terms of the colors. Reminds me of like an impressionism painting in a way. But I just think it's a really odd kind of interesting cover. And I also really love kind of doing flowing bio-mech kind of shapes. So I felt like it would kind of like naturally lend itself to something I wanted to do. And then I'm working on like a personal piece right now that's like red and black in terms of the color scheme. So I wanted to use this as like a way to just keep getting familiar with that combination. So when I tackle that piece, I just have a little more experience. So it's kind of like a prep and a study in that way.
You know, actually, I interviewed Edge of Sanity right when this album came out in '96. I was writing for a magazine out of Chicago called Inner Source, and I was really hoping it was going to be Dan Sueno, but it was Andreas, the guitarist, is the one I interviewed, and it was one of these situations where I had this little mini recorder connected to my phone in my college dorm room. So I'm getting a phone call from Andreas all the way in Sweden in my college dorm room, and I interviewed him. And after I interviewed him, it turned out the recorder didn't record, so I had to write a little thing in the magazine saying, "Oh, we tried to facilitate this interview," and I had to summarize kind of what we talked about. It's really embarrassing, but that album is really good. It's actually a very versatile album, and I would say that the album cover, I agree, it's very different, but it kind of reminds me of something you'd see on a Prague album cover.
Yeah,
kind of has that feel to it.
Cool. Yeah, when we start drawing here in just a couple of minutes, I'll show you what I've been working on today. I probably spent, honestly, about 2 hours on it. And the reason why I did drawing before this was because, as you can see, it's a fairly symmetrical piece. So I needed to like draw it and then flip and trace it. And I didn't want to do that live on camera with like a light bulb and all that. So it was a way of just like getting my paper and like all my space kind of a little more organized, so it wasn't going to be cumbersome.
Yeah, it looks awesome. I saw it sketched earlier. It looks really cool.
Cool. Well, you guys want to flip your cameras and get into it?
Yeah. Don't mind the whirlwind here.
Let's see if this will
situated.
And I was trying to figure it out for the viewers how to like mirror and flip it so you guys would see it kind of how I see it. I got it working on my laptop, but I wasn't able to do it in this platform, StreamYard. So I'll flip it around every once in a while. I guess you've already seen Mark's here, so I'll go ahead and show you what I have so far. All right. I'm going to blow it up.
That's so awesome, man.
All right. So just looking at the cover, basically my vision for it is I think I'm going to do like a lot of marker on this one in terms of coloring it. So I have like all these different grayscale markers, and then I'll do the red just like the cover here. So basically, instead of going with all these green hues, it's going to be more of like a dark death metal kind of grayscale look, and then I got like skulls instead of faces. I kind of went like, what if it was more death metal?
Yeah, I actually the perspective is really cool too. You can clearly see the sort of the liquefied base, the bubbles and stuff. It looks really awesome, man.
Yeah, I got that horizon line there. Thanks, man.
I love the
like what's interesting about this cover too is when I was like just looking at it and stuff, like I always kind of interpret it a certain way, but as I was looking at it closer, it's like these are like little cryogenic chambers, and like I just never really thought about it that way. I guess like I'm so used to looking at it a very small way that I didn't analyze it to the degree it probably deserves.
Dude, flip it over so you can see this at the backside of the CD. You got it. Should be zoomed in. You can really see all the stippling in there with the multicolor. It almost looks like a moire pattern. If you like, you get one of those lenses. I can't remember what they're called. There's a name for it. And you look at something that's been printed. It's got all that. You can see all the CMYK colors breaking down. It kind of reminds me of that. Yeah, really cool.
All right.
Yeah, that album is really good album. I mean, for one song, I mean, it's definitely broken up into pieces in a way, but I have to say that and Purgatory Afterglow are probably get the most plays.
Same
for me when it comes to Edge of Sanity.
I think they're one of the best mellow death bands, I guess, if you would classify them that way.
Sure. They definitely have a melodic edge.
So, Mark, if you don't mind, tell me a little bit about what's going on in your head here. So you're filling in basically like the dark darks to just have that point of contrast?
Yeah, exactly. I'm just going to fill in some heavy blacks in the back just so that I can let some of these other elements pop forward. I wasn't even going to do background, but since I got the sketch printed, I figured I would at least go ahead and try to get the background executed too, instead of just leaving it blank. I feel like they'd be a little dry, so to give it a little bit more visual interest, but it's probably going to be pretty dark. Not really sure how much I'm just kind of just gauging like how much black I want to put in. I think I actually probably will flood a lot of it out with black. Now that I'm thinking, and as I'm going, I'm pretty sure that's what I'll end up doing, and just cross-hatch the some of the areas that are showing through. So basically, I'm attacking the background first, which isn't necessarily what I normally do, but in this case, it feels like it's appropriate. And I'm being loose. I'm not being super tight with my inking here, because I do want to try to do my best to have a somewhat looking definitive complete product when I'm done.
Nice, man. Yeah, I'm gonna blow Lucas up here.
Hey, what's going on?
You're so brave, man. Just going straight into it like that.
Well, I mean, I'm not going to do the album cover. I'm not going to redo the album cover or like do the whole thing. I actually was like working today, so I already spent like a big chunk of today drawing. So I'm going to kind of keep it sort of loose. I'm just more interested. Like like I said, I used to spend like hours, like I would just look at this the whole time I was, listening to the album. I would just have the CD out in my lap, and I would just be looking at this cover artwork. And I've been thinking a lot about this the last few months, this year, about like the approach to doing album covers. You look at these classic album covers like this one. You look at we all know the story for Altars of Madness, right? Like that wasn't done as an album cover. It was just something he did.
Yeah.
And then they just kind of used it as an album cover.
Yeah, it seems like a lot of
there's been a bit of a legal thing there.
There has. So Dan, when I've worked with Dan about like on 3 different covers for one of my bands, and he charges the rate for to hire him to do the album cover, but then beyond that, if you want to publish merch, he has another contract, So if you're running merch, he has to benefit from the merch as well, the merch sales and profits, which is totally fair. And every artist works a little differently, and I totally respect that that's his approach. But when you think about all the bootlegs floating around of all the stuff he's worked on, that dude should be compensated, and he's not. He's been robbed like his whole career, pretty much, And then when you have a label like Earache trying to repress the stuff, it's a conflict of interest. They hire for the one time, and I think, what did they get? Andrei Boyzikov, I can't remember his name. I think he's a Polish artist. He's really good. I like his stuff. But they had him redo the Ultras of Madness for the repress because Seagrave, he wants to protect his work, which is fair. It's respectable. Just I kind of feel bad for Dan. He's kind of gotten the short end of the stick with a few things. Yeah. But I have to say he's really easy to work with. He's really cool, very creative. Really chill with stuff, and I enjoy working with him. I thought he's excellent, excellent to work with. But yeah, he's kind of had the short end of the stick with some things,
But so what I was kind of getting at is that not really being originally, intended to be an album cover.
Sure.
You got to think about some of those other album covers he's done. Like, when if you look at the cover for like Imperial Doom, actually, I can go grab my copy. I've got it sitting around here somewhere.
You got the
OG copy? That's an expensive CD.
Oh,
man.
it is. I got the cassette. I only had it on cassette.
That's hard to find.
I've heard that it's hard to come by.
So you look at this album cover, and I absolutely find it impossible to believe that the band came to him and described all this stuff, and then that's how the album cover came to be, right?
Yeah.
Like, he was fucking cooking when he did this, right? Like, they just needed an album cover and he just did it.
Yeah, most of his work's been like that.
Yeah, and then you got to imagine, like, I do not think that the band came to this guy and was like, described all of this stuff in detail and told him to paint it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, once again, I think he's cooking. And I think that's a thing with music in particular. I've been thinking a lot about this because of all the TTRPG stuff I've been doing, which is usually really, really pinned down. Music is an abstract form, right? Like, it's not representational. Like, there's not like a note that means dog or a note that means swimming pool or whatever, right? It's abstract. It's psychological. And I think when you put lyrics to something, like, even if you're trying to tell a story with your lyrics, you're trying to be narrative, I think as soon as you set it to music, it becomes like poetic, right? It starts to verge on the abstract. And I've been thinking a lot about how that is. I've been increasingly pushing this year to like work on the album covers that way. When bands come with a concept, I kind of try to get them to pull back from, I know you want to tell a story, but that's not going to necessarily make a great album cover. I don't want to illustrate a story. I want to illustrate the music, I want to do something that is a little more free association. Because I would never get to a place like this with a band describing something to me.
Right.
You know what I mean? You're never going to get to this from a band. Like, it's got to have this scene from our lyrics and this scene from our lyrics. That's not going to get you there. It's too narrative. It's too representational. It needs to be allowed to be a little bit more poetic. And so that's part of the reason too why I love this album cover, is because it's just, you just look at it and you're just kind of full of questions. Like, what is actually happening? I love that I don't really know what's happening. You know what I mean? There's kind of a sense of mysteriousness to what's being depicted here. It's not rational. Like, what's being shown is not really a rational thing. It's not necessarily a rational space. It's not necessarily a narrative space. And that's what, like, I love about the best death metal album covers, is they are a fucking vibe. They're not a fucking story. They don't have to be a story. So yeah, that's kind of my like illustrator soapbox. I think we should, as illustrators, should kind of be allowed to, let our brains kind of melt a little bit when we're trying to do album covers. Bands become very married to their own, they're very invested in their own concepts, and they don't necessarily, it's not always necessarily the best thing to have on the album cover. As artists, we are, imaginative people. We're visually imaginative people. We should be allowed to kind of, flex that imagination. But yeah, that's kind of my 2 cents on that. But the reason I love this album cover is just because it's so strange, and like, even though the imagery is like representational, it's rendered, it looks like it's dimensional, the things look like they are something. It verges on the abstract because it doesn't really tell any kind of rational story, and it's really hard to kind of understand what might actually be happening. That's only in the most poetic way has anything to do with the phrase "pierced from within," right?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Not literally. It doesn't literally show the lyrics from the song, which are themselves kind of strange. They're kind of abstract too.
Yeah, it seems like a lot of the album covers, at least early on, when I think of Seagrave in particular, and even other artists too, maybe like Drew Elliott, their label is usually, hey, do you have anything available? And right. I still, I mean, I don't know about you guys, I still get that. Hey, do you have anything I can use for an album cover? They don't have, the label's trying to just get something out the door, and a band that they represent might not have a cover prepared. That they want something you might have laying around, which I really don't have anything laying around. But
I would love to just have stuff laying around. That's the way I would work. Just like, let me just do a bunch of shit, and then I'll just here look at these. Pick one of these.
Yeah, that would be nice. That's a rare occasion. But that's a valid point. I agree that it is good to let an artist exercise their creative freedom and come up with something based on what they believe the band to represent. How they interpret.
Right. It ought to. I think it ought to actually veer into the idea I have is hard to explain. Could you just let me draw it?
Yeah,
and then see if you like it. If I explain it to you, it's not gonna the explanation is not gonna do it justice because it's too visual. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think a lot of times when clients come to an artist and say I have a vision, I don't think they actually have a vision literally. I think they have a vibe and some words on paper, and that's not really the same thing. You know what I mean? I know that people mean that metaphorically, but I think there's slippage. We use that phrase, I have a vision, and people start to think that it means they literally can, are seeing in their head what they want. And I don't think that's that true. Because even as an artist, for me, I don't really see 99% of the time, I don't see the finished piece in my head. I see a few things that I want to have there, and the rest of it comes out in making it. You know what I mean? It doesn't. Yeah. It's not fully formed in my brain. It doesn't really exist as anything consequential until I actually try to make it.
Yeah.
And so I think the same thing goes with clients. I think they sometimes they think quite highly of their of what they've come up with, and it's well, I could come up with stuff too. It's kind of why you're hiring me.
Yeah, sometimes there is a balance to be struck, I should say, when it comes to album covers. If the customer comes to you with a concept, and then it's gotta be fun for you too. You don't want to just rehash the idea. There's got to be a little bit of give and take there in terms of being able to flex your own style, whatever that might be, whatever your own visual language.
Yeah, you want to obviously you want to satisfy them, but you also if your contribution is going to feel like it's too kind of banal, or you're just kind of a technician moving the pen around on the paper and there's not really anything for you to add, that doesn't feel good as an artist either. It's well, you could have picked anybody. You know what I mean? You could have picked anyone to do that. Why did you want me? I definitely have in the early, not the early days, but there's definitely a few commissions where that really did come up as kind of an issue that I had to kind of why did you pick me? And they're kind of well, you weren't really our first choice. You know what I mean? It's okay, well, I can't be the artist who was your first choice. That's not really, I can't do that. Sorry.
Yeah. Do you find that you're not getting a lot of creative freedom with some of the album covers you're working on?
No, this year's been actually really good. Like the
Okay.
two, I've only had two to work on this year, but they've
Oh, okay.
monsters. They're taking forever to do.
Yeah.
But I've had a lot of, the clients have been great.
Okay.
Actually, the one, I'm not going to name names, but they've been really, really great to work with. I've worked with them before.
Oh, good.
And
Okay.
they had come to me with like a basic concept for the album cover. And I came up with a composition sort of responding to that. And I actually literally this took a couple weeks to do. It was going to be big because they wanted to wrap around the back. It's not a full gatefold. It's not a full like
partial.
double thing. It's like 1.5. It's like the front and then half the back.
Yeah.
And then the other half of the back is going to be like kind of like it's almost going to be like an OB strip, but printed with the song titles and the album info and stuff on it.
It's cool.
So they want 1.5 album cover in terms of so for me I'm like, I don't even remember. It's 16 by whatever is 16 by 24 or something like that.
Okay.
And I got it all laid out on paper, on the watercolor paper. I had to order custom watercolor paper because I didn't have anything big enough. Got it all laid out. I started on the first layer, and I just found I was like totally dreading working on it. I didn't want to work on it. Every time I looked at it, I was like, fuck, I don't want to.
That sucks.
And so I finally was like, I respect these guys enough to tell them I'm just not into the concept. I'm just not into it.
Yeah.
So I told them, I'm like, I just, it doesn't happen very often, but I am just not connecting with the idea. I am finding myself like basically bored to tears whenever I think about trying to work on this thing. I have another idea. Once again, it's like what I was like, kind of hard to explain. If you'll let me just go ahead and do it, if you trust me, I will try to do that. I want to do something I'm proud of. I want to do something that does you guys justice. If you trust me, I will go ahead and get another piece of paper, another piece of watercolor paper, and start on this thing as ASAP and try to get as much of it done as possible, and try to get caught up on it. And to their credit, they were like, "Dude, we trust you. We want you to be happy too. We want this to be the best thing we can put out. We totally understand if you're not into the concept. We want you to do something that you're happy with. We're totally willing to let you cook. You've not done us wrong so far." So, and it's like maybe I would say 85% done now. I'm on the last layer, I think. I hope it's the last layer. But they're really happy with it.
You're happy
and
with
it also, just as it turned out, the mixing for the record took way longer than they thought it would. They just kept tweaking stuff. So they've also pushed back the release to next year anyway. So so I have extra time on it. They're like, yeah, that's fine. Yeah, we got a little carried away with mixing it anyway, so it's not a big deal. We don't need it right away, and it's looking really great. We're really happy with what you're doing. So, but I wouldn't have arrived there, based on what they asked for.
Yeah,
I was very lucky that we have a good working relationship and a good rapport, and they trust me. I mean, that's the thing is I've definitely been hired by clients who do not trust their artists, and that is not a good situation to be in.
Well, it's also good. I mean, you're able to advocate for yourself too. Because that is hard. Because I mean, I'm kind of in that situation right now with a project that I'm just not really feeling it. I'm having a hard time trying to get my style to match up with. It's already like a pre-existing brand, and I'm finding it challenging, and I'm still trying to feel it out, and I'm still trying to be excited about it, but sometimes it can be a little unmotivating when things aren't really going how you had hoped they would go. At least in your head, you think, "Oh, this could be cool," and then you realize, "Oh, it's harder than I thought." But yeah, it's good that you're able to reach a point where you put the brakes on and we're able to advocate for yourself, because it is tough when a commission no longer becomes exciting or fun to work on. That can be really challenging. It could actually put you in a bind.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like I think it happens. There always going to be jobs where you're just not totally excited about it, but you do it, you get paid. For me, it's different. I think when it's like an underground band's album cover, where like
Oh.
we're not like concerned with like commercial sales or anything like that. It's not, you know what I mean? It's not like I feel like when it comes to underground music, we have the luxury to try to make the best thing we can.
I agree.
And like it's like a creative endeavor from top to bottom, both for the band, for the artist, for the label even. And so I think we kind of owe it to ourselves in that case to be a little more like discerning about what we're trying to do.
Yeah.
You know, if it was like, I don't know, if someone came to me and was like, do some Star Wars shit, here's like $6,000. I'd be like, fuck yeah, I don't give a shit about Star Wars, but I'll do whatever you fucking ask for that kind of money. I will be excited for that kind of money. Even if I'm not, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But outside of that, where it's like, I just, you know, I like care about death metal as an art form, you know, I care about this music. I want to do like I want to be, you know, I want to help represent the bands as best I possibly can. I think it like we kind of in that case kind of owe it to ourselves not to hold our nose and just do the thing if we don't totally believe in it as an artist, you know?
Sure. Yeah, I'm not really motivated by money, so to me it's like, well, what's an interesting thing to work on?
Right.
Even if it can be challenging sometimes, I think it's okay to be challenged on occasion. I don't want everything to be easy all the time,
right,
or convenient, because I do, just like any other artist, you know, you kind of have to push yourself a little bit to improve or to get into a different space that you haven't been in before. But I find more pleasure and value in the kind of assignment, whether it's an interesting customer or if it's just an interesting product type that I haven't published on before. Those kinds of things intrigue me the most, I think, at this point. But I agree. I mean, I love doing the underground stuff, and that is my preference because that is, just like yourself, that's where my passion resides. And I'm most comfortable in that space too.
Yeah. And like to you know, don't get me wrong. I mean, I'm mentioning the money thing as like, well, if I'm not going to enjoy enjoy the job,
you may as well be compensated.
You know, I got to get something out of it, and if it's going to be money, then that'll pay the bills. That's not necessarily what I'm motivated by.
Yeah,
I just told my wife earlier today. I'm like, you know, the problem for me is like I'm not really very career ambitious. I've never really been the kind of person who's like career ambitious. I'm more like, I'm ambitious in, I want to do this cool project that uses this and this and this, and like, you know, has all these moving parts to it, and I get to try all these new things, and that's how I'm ambitious. My only like actual career ambition is to be able to take on less commissions so I can work on my own stuff more. Like that's I was like, what is my actual goal here? Like, what do I actually want to do? I'm like, well, I guess I want to make enough money off like fewer commissions so I can just do less of it. And I can focus on doing stuff I really, really want to, rather than feeling like I have to take on stuff just because I need the cash to pay my bills,
pay a mortgage or whatever. Yeah.
So, girls got to eat, as they say, but you know,
that's good.
But you know, I don't want to have to do all that stuff all the time.
Yeah.
I definitely get stuff that I'm not super invested in.
Sure.
But yeah, I don't have a lot of like material ambition for this. I really just like, you know, I would love to do like, you know, I would love to do my own book, you know, my own book from beginning to end. Like that would be an ambitious thing for me. Like, that's an ambition. I'd love to be involved in a movie. Okay, that's an ambition to me. But it's not really like a career ambition. It's more like a creative ambition.
Yeah. I totally understand that. I do agree, like, at least for myself, that's also more of a motivator, is that you're doing something that brings you joy.
Yeah.
And the money
fills you, like satisfies you.
Yeah, the money thing is just a nice to have. You know, it buys convenience for your life. You know, and that's
it keeps you alive too.
Yeah,
it's always a good thing. Unfortunately, like we, you know, you do have to You do have to work anyway. Like I was saying, what I was saying to my wife was, I'm not built to work. I fucking hate working. Like I loathe the idea of like doing a job. I actually fucking hate that. Like if I didn't have to work, I wouldn't work. Like I wouldn't consider like pursuing like creative endeavors to be work for hire as work, you know?
When you were teaching, did that bring you joy? Or did you feel like it was work most of the time? Just out of curiosity.
Teaching is one of those things that, it like goes back and forth. Like there's a part of it. I mean, it's just like doing creative work. There's a part of it that is like, that can be very personally satisfying and like fulfilling. But then of course there's all the other shit that comes from it being a job, you know?
Yeah.
There's like with teaching, there's of course like shit like assessment, which is never really very fun, you know, like grading and then also them like evaluating you.
Yeah. There's
all the institutional shit that you have to do to like keep your department running, make sure your classroom is supplied. You know, like you gotta do attendance with your students, and then you gotta go after the ones who don't attend, because you know the university wants that fucking money, so they want the students to, they want to retain the students so that they graduate. Students that fail to come to class often don't come back the next semester. So you got to hound your students, and you got to deal with administration. Students not happy with their grade, they go bitch to the dean. You got to deal with that. So some of that stuff is not enjoyable at all. Yeah. And then some of it, when you see like a student grow, when you see them have like a eureka moment where they realize something that you've been trying to teach them for like 6 weeks suddenly makes sense to them. And they realize that you're not just talking out of your ass. You actually know what you're talking about. And they suddenly start to grow as like an artist right in front of you. That's really fulfilling.
Yeah, I bet. That's pretty awesome. Lee, you sleeping over there, man?
Nah, man. I'm just
what's going on?
I'm silently agreeing with what you guys are saying.
Yeah, you're doing the silent two finger.
I'm not as good at drawing and talking as Lucas is. It is a skill. I mean, you talked about it, Lucas, last time. Like, since you taught so much, you really have a lot of experience.
Yeah, you have to be able to like, you go quiet for too long when you're doing a demo, their eyes start glazing over. If you stop doing the demo and talk too long, their eyes also start glazing over. Like you gotta perform basically when you're a teacher. You have to kind of be on like the whole time you're in the classroom. Yeah, that is exhausting. People don't really know. Like I used to get done with my course load for the day, and I would be like, "Fuck, I'm wiped." I was on for like 6.5 hours. Yeah, I had to be on with these students, and I had to go back to my office and do some grading or do office hours with students or whatever. But you're wiped, man. Performing like that in front of an audience of skeptical 18 to 22 year olds. That is a thing. It can be invigorating, but I also like, it's something I sometimes don't really miss it. I'm like, man, I don't miss having especially those first couple of weeks where they don't believe a fucking word you're saying. They don't believe anything you're telling. Like, who the fuck is this guy? Who the fuck is this old?
It's like, why are you even in the fucking class?
They don't know.
I mean, it's just like a portion.
They don't know
right?
either. I kind of like, if I feel like because I can do this pretty well, and I do okay for myself enough, I have thought about going back to teach, like just like take a class, a class a semester, or a class a year as an adjunct, and just like open the class with, I just want you guys, first thing I want you guys to know is I don't need to be here. So if they don't, like, basically what I'm saying is if they don't bring me back next semester, it's no skin off my back. So I'm going to tell you right up front, like, you better know why you're here. You better.
Well, yeah, dude. It's just like, I don't. Somebody who's unmotivated and going to art school makes no fucking sense to me, because it costs a fortune. And like, if I'm going to arts, look, I'm also like, 35 now, so I have a different perspective. But if I'm going to art school, I'm going to get every cent I can out of that experience.
Oh, hell yeah, man. I didn't go until I was 30.
Yeah.
I was 30 when I took my first class at CCS.
Yeah, when you're When you're really young, I think some folks they take that for granted, or if it's not their money, you know, if it's their parents' money,
or they don't, you know, they don't really realize like what the debt is going to mean.
Yeah,
you know, but in 5-10 years, man, you're still paying that off or whatever. You know, you want to make sure you get everything out of it.
For sure.
Yeah, they often don't necessarily know why they're in school. It doesn't help that like institutionally too, it's you know, they kind of lie to the students too, you know, especially when it comes to art school.
They're like career opportunities after.
Yeah, exactly. Especially in like things like illustration programs.
Yeah.
You know, where they will kind of get the students to believe that there's like an industry job waiting for them.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know, man, have you guys been following the Microsoft layoffs? Like everything's like that. It's not just video games. You know what I mean? Like the film industry is not doing well.
Yeah. The whole Marvel department, like art department, did they get like canned or something?
Probably. I mean, that's the thing when you consolidate, right? Consolidation always means less jobs because they want to get rid of everyone who's redundant. They don't need like 16 different gigantic art departments across all of Disney. So they're going to get rid of as many people as they can. So I feel bad for the students that like, I want to be a concept artist. And like, there's not an industry job waiting for you though, for you to be a concept artist. You know what I mean? Like you got to be like, I kind of wish I could tell them like, you kind of gotta get out of this. Like you got to kind of get out of this, what you can for yourself, because a job is not necessarily what you're going to get out of being here. Like, it's just those days are long gone. I don't know if you saw that thing that James Gurney posted like a couple months back. He posted this little like infographic that he made that was like a chart about like most earnings that a commercial artist has ever made versus like after the peak. And I forget the guy's name, but there was a guy who was a commercial artist in the 60s and 70s, and the peak was like 1975. And that guy made adjusted for inflation like $500,000 one year as a commercial illustrator.
Damn.
He was illustrating ads for like all the big like cigarette companies, for like, you know, for like McDonald's, for all the car companies. He was doing like hand painted airbrush illustrations, and he made like $500,000. He was like the highest paid commercial illustrator in the world. I forget the guy's name.
They need to make a movie about that guy.
And then Gurney was saying that after that, no one has ever made anywhere close to that money. And the ceiling, like the peak amount of money, has only gone down every decade since. He was saying like I forget the figure, but he's like even like I, you know, after like working for National Geographic and doing Dinotopia, blah 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 blah, have only made this much. Like this was the most I made in a year, and it was in the 90s. It's like I haven't made that much money since then. Like my take home has gone down significantly. So it's like it's you know, and then you also got to think on top of it, you don't really need to go to art school to be an artist. Like you don't. It helps, but you don't really need to. You know, it's like,
well, I certainly didn't.
You know, you got to go to school if you want to be a doctor or a lawyer, because you can't just practice law or medicine on people willy-nilly and be like, see, I can do it. Right? But when you're an artist, you don't have to go to school. You just make art, and if it's bad, it's bad, and no one pays attention to you. Like, it doesn't hurt anybody. So you don't necessarily need a credential, though. If you're good, you're good, and then you'll get hired. You know what I mean? So that makes it doubly like, you know, you have to really think about what it is you're going to get out of going if you want to go, because it's not going to be a job. It might be connections, like that can help. Sure, but in that case, you've actually got to like talk to your professors. You can't. I have so many times students will be like, "Oh man, you're you're uncool. I'm only going to talk to the kids my age." And it's like, well, you're not. The whole point of college is like these are your first like professional relationships. Like you got to think of like your professors essentially as your first senior colleagues that you ever going to have in your life. If you don't learn how to like talk to them and foster like a professional relationship with them, then you don't have connections. So you've like lost that, you know, you've lost that advantage of going to college. It's not just like a really expensive like social resort for 18 to 22 year olds. You know what I mean? You gotta think, but even though colleges really do try to sell it as that, that's doing a disservice. Like the students you cannot think of your professors as like the same way you would think of your high school teachers when you were a teenager in high school. You know what I mean? It's no longer that relationship. You're now an adult, they're adults. They are essentially your first professional colleagues. But like I said, students are often young and kind of immature, and they don't get that right away. Some of them do understand that kind of right off the bat. Some of them, it takes them a little bit, and some of them never figure it out, and they might get their degree, but they kind of wasted their 4 years. They didn't do anything that's sort of worth showing. They kind of just phoned in their time there, and then now they've just got like a big pile of debt that they got to work off. And then they're like, I've run across people who are like bitter about, I didn't learn anything in art school. I didn't learn shit. My teachers didn't teach shit. I'm like, I've been on the other side of that. And I'm like, I definitely have students who refuse to learn shit, no matter how hard I try to teach it. So.
Yeah, it's crazy. I do think that when I think back with the freelance stuff, networking is huge. It's probably one of the more important parts of being an artist is your ability to communicate and learn how to work with people.
Yep. All kinds of different people.
Yeah. From different creative avenues. Yeah.
We had a good point to kind of show off some progress.
Sure.
Yeah, I think so. Why not?
Yeah. Yours looking killer, Lucas.
Thanks.
Oh yeah, that is awesome.
Yeah, you mind talking a little bit first? How you're tackling this one?
Yeah, I mean, I just did a really quick light underdrawing with my pencil here, and then just started kind of going in and doing my my darker values. But I'm basically taking like the figure. You can't really see that. Okay, I don't know if that's visible. I'm basically taking the figure and then just like kind of embellishing it. I love like the featurelessness of the head, but I felt like it's like too obvious of a feature of the drawing, so I had to kind of add my own sort of thing to it. So I put some like craters in the head a little bit. I'm not trying not to let them turn into a face. I love how it's like featureless. It doesn't really. It sort of looks like it's a skull at first, but the longer you look at it, the more it's just like a weird oval.
It's like a mannequin.
It's a weird, smooth oval with like no features in it. And I love that it's like an egg. It's like strange. It's so odd. So I wanted to kind of like keep the facelessness of it a little bit. I'm not sure if I totally succeeded there, but yeah, I'm just like embellishing on it, doing some Shoggoth style texture work that I like to do. And that's about it. I'm just kind of vibing, just kind of hanging out, just kind of having fun.
It's awesome, man.
Yeah, it looks good.
I love the way you like break up the lines, it just doesn't have like a solid outline like a tattoo. You know what I mean? It feels very realistic, and then the high contrast with the solid blacks. Looks awesome.
Yeah, I try to think like almost like it's a high contrast photo. When I'm like working like this.
What did you use for your inks? I wasn't looking. What were you using for your inking?
I'm using a couple of microns, and then I've got this Sakura Pigma. It's like a felt tip pen. I just found a bunch of these at Michael's.
Probably what I'm using.
I didn't know what they were. I was actually bought them because I was buying a bunch of different pens when I was getting ready to sign. Yeah, we have the same thing. Yeah, I have one. Okay. I was getting ready to sign the print run of the Monstrozine. I bought just a bunch of different kind of pens to test to see what would be good to do my signature with. So I bought like a couple of these. I'd not ever seen them before. I wasn't sure what they were. And then I went and tried it. I'm like, I don't know if I want to do it with like a felt tip. But I also just liked the way the pen felt. So I've just been using these now to draw with too. It's like a bump up from my normal microns, but in between that and like my big like Pentel brush pen. I got this for like really heavier line work.
Yeah.
I'm always looking for new tools. I'm like always, if you tell me that there's like a pen store, like, a place that stocks like Japanese, like manga pens or whatever, I'm like on it. Like, I want to try pens. let me just try pens. I love trying pens.
Same. All right.
Yeah, I've been using these Pigma brush pens for a couple of years now. I really like them. They Sakura actually sent me some before they released them. They were prototypes, and I was like, "Damn, they're fun." The ones I'm using right now are kind of dried out. I need to get new ones.
Yeah.
But they're really nice. I like how they feel on the paper. And Daniel Sawblade,
Yeah.
he had recommended another pen too that I tried that was pretty cool. Is a Fabric Castle or something like that.
Oh yeah. Is it the Pit?
I can't remember what
I used to use those Pit Faber-Castell.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Like felt nibbed pens.
Kind of feels like a brush pen.
Yeah.
I found that the only thing I didn't love them was I found that the nibs sort of got raggedy really quick for me.
Oh, okay.
So I could only kind of use them a couple times before I couldn't quite get the cleanliness of the line that I wanted.
Sure.
I like the Pentel here that I have. This was Caroline Harrison recommended this to me.
Oh, Caroline, yeah. Okay.
It's an actual brush. It's actually a bristle brush, but it's a reservoir pen. And dude, it is badass. I love that it the very tip of it is a single hair. So you can get really, really thin lines if you want to, but you can also lay down a whole lot of ink at once if you need to. It's really, really versatile. There are times when I could do 75% of a drawing just with that pen if I really wanted to.
Dang.
I love it, but it is also you do have to buy the refill reservoirs, and they're not. I mean, they come in 6-packs, but they're not necessarily the cheapest thing. So keeping myself, I'm always kind of trying to keep myself in stock when I have the money.
Sure.
I love that pen. I don't want to. I kind of rely on it a little bit for a lot of stuff. So, but that was what ended up replacing those Faber-Castells. I used to use those a lot, but
okay.
I'm always looking for different brush pens. I have this Kuretake too. This other one, it's also a reservoir brush pen. It's a bit thinner.
Realizing I have markup and
Yeah,
you're doing all these demonstrations. I'm drawing, dude. I apologize.
Yeah, so this I don't remember where I bought this from, but these are really, really great. The only thing I don't like about them is that the ink does not match the Pentel ink. So if I use both these in the same drawing, this one actually is kind of warm, the way the pen is kind of brown, and then the Pentel is a little colder. So I put them in the same drawing. The blacks look weird; they clash with each other. It's the only problem I have. But otherwise, I love the way that brush feels when I use it, and I will sometimes, knowing I'm going to digitize it anyway for printing. I'll just combine the inks. I don't care. It's going to get once I desaturate it, you won't be able to tell anyway.
Yeah.
But a collector sure will be able to notice. In certain light, it looks really bad. If you light the piece the right way, you won't notice the difference between the blacks. But man, who can control the light in their house that well when they hang a piece up? I don't know. You have to be a pretty serious collector. So I try not to do that, but there are times I'm like, man, I just really want to use this pen, so I'm just going to use this pen.
Yeah, I've got some really old drawings from the 90s, and they're all green. The drawings are green now, and they're all blurred out and stuff.
Oh, no.
Because they're just really bad pens I was using, Just regular, probably Bic felt tip pens or something. I don't know. Yeah.
I used to like ballpoints when I was a teenager.
Oh, yeah. I would use them all the time.
It was like Pentex or whatever. Whoever made those ballpoints, but man, they lay down one weight of line, so it's kind of really hard to do too much with them.
Yeah.
I never even knew that until I tried the microns in my late 20s. I had no idea that drawing with ink could feel like that.
Oh yeah, same.
I was drawing with ballpoint pens for so long. I'm like, my ink drawings are always all kind of gloppy looking and they're kind of puffy and they don't have any sort of fine definition to them. I wonder why that is. I guess I just suck at drawing. It's I thought for years.
Yeah, well, dude, I mean, I used the ballpoints for decades before I moved to the microns. I don't even remember how I got introduced to the microns. I forgot, but I mean, ever since I can't remember who did it, who turned me onto them, but I've been using them since. So yeah, it makes a huge difference. I agree. It does feel very different when you're drawing.
Can just shape your marks in a way that I never felt like I could with a ballpoint.
Yeah.
Ballpoints kind of are cool with like doing the smooth gradients. Like I like doing that.
Yeah, if you have the right kinds too. Like I think actually the way that the ink kind of matters. Like if they're like a little bit more of a dry ink, you can do more stuff like that.
Yeah, if it's a
I know that the ones that I used to use that have a kind of a very wet black ink.
Yeah.
It's just like you get black or white, and that's kind of it.
Yeah, I definitely don't like those.
They're basically like writing pens. I don't know why I was using those to make drawings with. They're just like writing pens. They're like for doctors to sign prescriptions. Like I don't know what the hell I'm using those for. I didn't know any better, you know. I didn't go to art school in my 20s.
One quick favor, because I was drawing. You were talking about these pens, and I think you were showing them up. Can you just show real quick?
Yeah.
Pens that you're using?
Yeah. So I got my microns here. Mark and I were talking about these Pigma FBs. It's like a
fine bait. Yeah, fine.
Yeah, like a felt. It's a felt nib, a little bit more fine, but it's a felt nib pen. So you can get I can get a little heavier weight lines and still control the line weight.
Yeah.
In a way that feels a little bit nicer and flows a little bit more smoothly than just using like a big micron, like a 10.
It's like a silicone or something.
And then I've got my Pentel brush pen. And that's, like I said, it's like an actual brush. It's not just it's not a felt nib. It's an actual bristle brush. Right. And it has
pocket brush, right? Is that what they call
it? Pocket brush. Yeah. It has let's see if I can open it. It has a ink reservoir inside of it that you refill. And that's really cool. And then I have another one that's a Kuretake. It's kind of the same thing, but it's a little bit finer of a tip. It also has a refillable reservoir, but it's a different kind of reservoir. Like I said, the inks don't match on it, but sometimes I don't really care and I'll just use it anyway. But yeah, these are like the ones that are kind of my workhorses. It's like these three and then my micron set are mostly what I use. Yeah.
Sick. All right. And then let's get a progress update on you, Mark, and then I'll go next.
Oh yeah, I'm just capturing some of the value on this wheel here for the ultra resting. So I'm using right now a 01 micron, but I just like Lucas. I've got a couple microns. I've got the 03, 05, and 12, and then for the Pigma brush pens, I have the FB, which is what Lucas is using. But then the next step up will be the medium MB, and then the bold brush, the BB. So I've been using all three of those, and then I've got a chisel tip Sharpie and just a fine point Sharpie. But yeah, that's it right now. I might break out some jelly roll pens if I feel like it's necessary. But yeah, I'm just trying to fill some of the space here. I think I'm going to tackle this area, the spirits emanating from the altars. I'll probably tackle that last, and I might just keep the line work really simple without a lot of detail. I did pick up recently. What was it? I can't remember. Are they Swedish? Cemetery. I don't know if you remember their debut. Yeah, I have like Godless Beauty when I remember when that came out. I grabbed that and I really enjoyed that album. And so I never picked up their debut, and I finally found a repress on cassette, so I grabbed that. But it, kind of that was also sort of an inspiration when you can see there's some obviously similar concept there in terms of this emanating amorphous faces and stuff coming out of a particular area. But I think that probably was in my psyche at the time when I did my loose thumbnail sketch, because I just recently picked that up. It's a pretty good album too. I don't know if you guys have that or have heard it, but I don't think
I have that one. I'm pretty sure I have one of the cemeteries, but I have to look at my CD mansion and see what I actually have.
Yeah, they went a little bit more gothic, and I don't know.
The early stuff's really good.
I might have the debut then. That might be the one that I have.
I had the one where it's like the kind of weird surreal dude on like a throne. It's a very interesting cover. It's cool though. Unless I'm thinking of the wrong band. No, I'm thinking of Crematory, not Cemetery.
Oh yeah, Crematory.
Yeah, okay. Sorry.
Yeah, I've got that one. That's the repress of their. I think it's what's the other deep demos and EPs on it.
Yeah.
I had the demo, but I gave it to you guys remember Ken's Death Metal Crypt?
Yep.
I would get on
Yeah.
there with Dylan and Ken. I gave it to Dylan. Dylan was about to buy it for like $200 on eBay or something like that. I'm like, or 400. I'm like, dude, don't spend your money on that. I have a copy. I gave it to him because I already have it on vinyl. I have all the demos on vinyl anyway, like repress. So it's like I already have the music. But yeah, Crematory is good. That's good. Some good old school Swedish death metal right there.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna show what I got. Flip it around. All right, so I'm mostly in outline world. There's a lot of lines here. Pretty much just this side, and I'm kind of working my way backwards, like different line weights. Yeah, it's gonna take a minute. it's a lot going on here.
I like it's symmetrical, but there's still. I like that you intentionally did some asymmetry on it as well.
Yeah,
like with the bubbles, and then you have the figure in the middle, kind of breaking it up a bit. Really nicely done, man. That kind of has sort of that. Since you guys were talking about Monstrosity, the Imperial Doom album has sort of that kind of a nod to that. And when you look at the background,
kind of see it too. Yeah,
so much shapes and stuff.
Yeah, definitely.
Too much of a glare on it, but yeah,
pretty nice.
Pretty nice.
Very nice.
I'm gonna keep it going.
What have you guys been spinning? I pulled a few things if you guys want to check it out that I've been listening to. What have you guys been jamming lately too?
Here, you go first. Or sorry, but go ahead.
Who? What?
Who?
Who? Me?
Yeah, you.
I've been trying to like catch up on some stuff that's come out in the last year that I kind of slept on. So I've been listening to the new Neurosis album. Always kind of dug Neurosis, and it was kind of a cool thing to hear them putting out a new album. It's as though they haven't lost any time at all. It's definitely a satisfying listen. I've actually been I haven't had like too much death metal. I've actually been super interested in this past year. Been listening to a lot of like different like punk stuff. There is a band called Shaved Ape. They put out a record called Love Letter to Hardcore, which is really good. Just like hyper fast, kind of like almost like Koro, Neo's Worship. That's really, really good. And it's like an LP, but it's seriously like 10 minutes long. It's so fucking awesome. I love that. So that's good. I've been listening to the latest Illiterates album, Does Not Compute. That one's really, really good. Just like good kind of sort of weirdly Youth of Today influenced hardcore from Pittsburgh, but like also the songs are like really, really short though. So it's kind of like early, more like early Youth of Today, less like the later stuff, kind of pre-Youth crew. Been listening to that. There's a Finnish band whose name I will not try to pronounce that just put out a record on is it Sorry State? I can't remember what label it came out on, but it's kind of like it has that kind of it's like Finnish hardcore, like old Finnish hardcore meets kind of like UK 82 stuff, and with a little bit like weirdly like way out of left field of like kind of like DC-ish Minor Threat-ish sounding shit. I fucking like that record. It's like a mini LP. It's really, really good. For metal stuff, there's a death metal record from last year that came out. It was very odd that it came out on Meisako, but it didn't get like a corresponding release on Dark Descent. At least I don't think it did. When I looked, I couldn't get it like stateside. I had to just download it off Bandcamp. But the band is from Quebec. I think they're from Montreal. They're called De Cryptal. The record is called Simulacra, and it's like really fucking good in my opinion as like a death metal record. It's like very varied in the approach. Like the songwriting is very dynamic, and kind of the songs are very interesting all the way through. There's a lot of really kind of tasty riff stuff going on. They can play fast, they can play slow, but they're not like just kind of doing doom death like so many bands are doing, or death doom or whatever. It's good. It's like keeps me very interested, and I like that the lyrics are sung in I don't want to say French. Say it's French Canadian. If you tell a French person, they will say that's not French. I when I was in college, there were these. When I took French as my language when I was in college, and there were these 2 French Canadian girls who were on the hockey team at Wayne State who took the class thinking it was going to be a blow off, and they started speaking French Canadian when the teacher called on them, and she's like, "That's not French. I don't know what language you're speaking, but it is not French. You're going to have to work in this class." And they were like, so I don't want to say they speak. The lyrics are sung in French Canadian. They're really good though. I love the way it kind of sounds for death metal. It's just a good record. It's one I'm always kind of looking forward to listening to, and it kind of pops up in my little rotation. What else? I like that fucking Steroid record from last year. If anyone's heard that, Chainmail Commando.
It's interesting.
It's fucking awesome, dude. I love it. It brings tears to my eyes. It's so good. I love it. I just find it to be it's
fresh. I'll give it that.
The vocals work for me so well. It's like if Devo, fuzzed out drum machine driven Devo playing Judas Priest with a Cabbage Patch Kid on vocals. It's awesome. Definitely awesome.
Okay.
It really does sound like that, Mark. He's
oh my god!
It's awesome.
All right,
it's so fucking cool. What else? I've been listening to that the new Helm's Deep record that came out on Nameless Grave. I like that for kind of American power metal. Very well played. I'm trying to think what else is in there. What else is in the mix? There's not too much else that I've been spinning too much lately. There's I've been obviously kind of listening to old stuff too. I've been listening to some of the stuff that I was really into, death metal stuff I was really into when I was a teenager. So been kind of re-listening to the first Oppressor record.
Oh yeah, hell yeah, man.
Been re-listening to the first Flesh Crawl record.
Oh, okay.
I into that. I really was into both those records when I was a teenager. I had those on CD. I wish I had not gotten rid of the Flesh Crawl like a fucking sucker.
Oh man.
But yeah, I've been listening to those. Been listening to some, been listening to Realm of Chaos a little bit. So I loved that record when I was a teenager too. Just a lot of different stuff. Oh yeah, the new, when one of the panels I was on the show years back, a couple years ago, Lee, I was on with Christian. Remember Christian? Dan? Yeah. He recommended that band Iron Firmament, which I actually do really like them. So I picked up their most recent one too. The In the Land of Pre-Human Kings, I think is the name of it. It's good. I like the production a little bit more than some of the other stuff. It's still really lo-fi, but the drums sound a lot better. And I just like that stuff. They're really ethereal, kind of almost dungeon synth. They're almost like pastoral synth mixed with the black metal. It's very good. I recommend that one too. Been listening to that a lot. Yeah.
Nice.
That's me.
I've been.
Oh yeah, the new Funebrarum too. The new Funebrarum.
Oh, that's really good. Yeah.
Yeah, that's really really good.
Have you listened to that, Mark? Oh, he's away. Okay. I think he would like it a lot.
Yeah.
Have you listened to New Funebrarum?
I got it. Yeah, I picked it up.
You don't seem to like it.
It was all right. I need to give. I've only listened to it twice.
Oh yeah. I think it's maybe a bit of a grower.
I like Daryl's vocals, but musically is a little bit of a snooze fest for me. I gotta revisit it and see what I think, but it was okay.
I thought the synths were really cool and unique.
Yeah, I like the synths. I feel like there's some good kind of tasty riffs on that album that I like, but it feels to me like I've kind of, for whatever reason, cottoned onto it pretty quickly, but I do feel like I can see it being a grower for some people.
Yeah, I need to give it more spins, dude. I haven't really given it a fair listen yet. I'm sure it'll grow on me. Because I like some of the other stuff they put out. I've got a couple of their albums.
You like Daryl's vocals when he was in Citizen's Arrest?
I don't have any Citizen's Arrest.
That band's cool.
That's more hardcore, isn't it?
Yeah, they're a hardcore band. Yeah. No, they're kind of little bit on the weird side.
Okay.
Little weird and little different for like a 90s hardcore band.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I like them too. So I was kind of, that was like one of the big things. My buddy was like, "Do you know Daryl Kahn's in this band from Citizens Arrest?" I'm like, "That's fucking weird. That's awesome though. Okay, I can get into this. That's rad." I love it when there's crossover shit like that.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm trying to remember who all was that, like Misery Index or Dying Fetus Guys or something. I can't remember who all was in that band.
Oh yeah, you're right.
There
It might
was,
be.
like, a couple.
Yeah, I mean, those two bands share members anyway, right? Like Misery Index. And
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
also share members. So
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, I remember a buddy of mine telling me, like, in the 2000s, we were talking death metal stuff. He's like, "Yeah, dude, I totally saw Dying Fetus in a fucking basement in like Southfield, Michigan.
No,
Like,
wow.
they were like doing a tour, and they were just like every other show was like a basement show."
That's awesome.
Because they're like, they kind of like to, at least at that time, they were kind of still like, we like to keep it DIY and still like do like basement shows, do like kind of sort of punk shows almost.
Yeah.
Respectable. I dig it. I really loved Killing on Adrenaline when I was like 20. I loved that record.
Oh yeah, I have. I think is that the one? My buddy Eric, did he play drums on that one?
I think that's what's his name?
Kevin Talley.
Kevin Talley. Yeah, I think he was playing drums on that one.
Okay, and my buddy Eric did drums on one of their albums. I've always liked Destroying the Opposition was my favorite.
Destroying the Opposition is really fucking good too. I like that one too.
I remember.
It was like earlier. I don't really like brutal death metal, but well, I kind of soft. I'm not gonna lie. Who doesn't have a soft spot for Dying Fetus? So they're kind of too good not to like. I'm not like I'm a human though. You know what I mean? Yeah. I love most brutal death metal, but I'm human. You know, of course I'm gonna fucking like Dying Fetus.
Still, no one else sounds like them. That's the thing. Is like they're still a very unique signature band.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a good observation. They do have a not imitated sound.
Yeah.
It's weird how that, I don't know if you've ever thought about that. It's like weird, like what bands become worship bands and what bands don't, you know?
Oh yeah.
Like there's like no end of bands that want to sound like Incantation, but there's like no bands that sound like Dying Fetus. It's like there's like no bands that sound like Oppressor specifically, but there's, you know, lots of bands that sound like, you know, whatever, take your pick.
I think the closest I can think of Dying Fetus was probably Vomit Remnants from Japan. Maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know. Yeah, this will give you a boner, Lucas. Check this out.
I'm checking it out.
It's a Oppressor demo.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Sick. Very sick.
Yeah, I think I've only got their 93. I think I only have their first 2 albums, maybe. I did go back and so I have like their second album, I think, on promo, like a promo CD of it.
Mm-hmm.
And the one that you referenced, their debut, I think. That's
Solstice of Oppression.
Yeah, I think
I love that cover. I actually kind of thought about doing that cover instead of this one.
Is that Potter?
That cover is really fucking rad.
Is that a
both of like the guys tied up? I think about the right band. No. That's the one that's it's like weird melty dude, right?
Yeah,
like weird. Yeah, with like it's like kind of like tree branches and like weird shit.
What's the name?
Am I getting mixed up with? It's kind of avant-garde sounding. It's a weird band. I don't really like the record, honestly, so I don't know why it's coming to mind.
I'm trying to think of the artist on that. I forgot the guy's name. It starts with a P.
Yeah.
He did some photographic work, I think. Mostly.
Yeah. But that's actually a painting. That piece is a painting.
Yeah, that one's a painting, but
he's done some other work. He did some other work that was kind of like that, but not a whole lot, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. Oh, God, I can't remember the guy's name.
Yeah, I just remember seeing that on like the, like in the. I used to my grandma used to take me to Harmony House when I was a teenager, and they used to have like a pretty decently stocked death metal section.
Nice.
Like metal section would most have a lot of death metal stuff in there, so I would flip through that stuff, and I would see anytime I would see something that looked like that, I'm like, well, I have to have this. Look at the logo, right? Like just look at the logo. Solstice of Oppression. Oh, that's an awesome solstice. That's like the best solstice.
Yeah,
The one that's of oppression. I love that one.
that was Olympic, I think. Olympic, I think, put that out. Olympic Recordings, if I remember correctly.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, I've been kind of spinning. I made a pretty good find recently. And this is a band I slept on. I remember when they came out in the 90s, but of course it's backward. But I remember seeing the album. The CD is still in my car. Babylon Sad. I remember seeing them advertised, and I was thinking, oh man, that's probably some grunge band or something, you know. It's on Massacre Records. But I just happened upon it on YouTube recently. They're a Swiss band, and that guy's rocking a pretty awesome mullet. And this is the only thing they put out. And it was actually how I happened upon it on YouTube. I was like, oh dang, this is awesome. And I managed to find a copy that was still shrink wrapped, and I purchased it. It was a little pricey, but totally worth it. The last two songs are kind of like ho hum. I'd probably remove them from the album personally, but the rest of the album is really good. It's kind of reminds me of a combination of Gorguts Considered Dead meets The Gathering Always, which is kind of a weird mix, and then maybe a little bit of weirdness too, like Unholy from Finland probably thrown in. And I suspect the guys from Time Goal may have been influenced by this album, because I hear some stuff that Time Goal picked up on, I think, from this album.
That's cool.
So it's really unique. It's a really unique record. Swiss band. This is the only thing they put out. Babylon Sad, Massacre Records. So I've been spinning that pretty heavily. And I grabbed Disharmony from Greece on vinyl. This is a pretty cool album. I don't know if you guys are into like the old school Greek black metal sound.
Yeah.
But this is an old Greek band from that era. They just didn't get the same kind of visibility that other bands like Riding Christ and Necromantia got. But Disharmony is really good. What's interesting about this record is the first side is straight up like old like Greek black metal, and then the B side is a satanic ritual, and it's actually really well done. Music is kind of like dark ambient. Kind of reminds me of I don't know if you guys are into like dark ambient stuff. Kind of reminds me of like Ordo Equilibrio or Archon Satani. So that
I don't know much about that genre.
Yeah, it's kind of it's essentially like a satanic mass on the side B, but it's really well done. So really well put together. And then I grabbed a couple 7-inches from I think it's a Dutch label. It's a band called Necromantion. I think they're Greek, but really good. Like if you're into Sarcophago, it's not like war metal really per se, but it's definitely like got a lot of blast beats, and it's heavy, and it's just got that sort of Mediterranean sound to it. I'm not sure where they're from, but I'm assuming Greece. And then split 7-inch between Necromantic Worship and The Nameless Shrine. And this is really good too. I think I have everything by Necromantic Worship, and that's why I bought this. But it's a split 7-inch. And if you guys like Mortuary Drape, Necromantia, that kind of stuff, this is pretty much in that vein. So that's kind of what I've been spinning lately. And also some Nocturnus and some other things. Some Duran Duran.
Oh yeah.
But what about you, Lee? What are you playing right now?
Bouncing around a lot. I really have been digging into this band Resin. They're kind of like Elder, which is it's like kind of stoner doomy, but there's like a progressive element in there too, but in a really natural way. Not like flutes and shit. But I really like all their albums. Their new one's really good. Just came out. And let's see. Listen to a very specific Billy Joel album, 52nd Street. And I've been really enjoying
Billy
that.
Joel, dude. I love
That-
Billy Joel.
That particular album, I think it's fantastic. It's a little more
Got to
jazzy.
see him a few years ago.
Oh,
yeah.
really?
He came to Notre Dame. We weren't there anymore. It was the concert was actually supposed to happen in 2020, but it got canceled because of the pandemic, and they couldn't have the concert until we bought the tickets for it and everything, and they couldn't have it until 2022. So we ended up driving all the way from Lancaster to South Bend to see Billy Joel, and it was fucking great.
That's awesome, man.
Hell yeah.
Let's see what else. Yeah, I kind of bounce between metal and then just any other genre, basically. Been digging back to like stuff that was popular when I was, in like high school and stuff. Some of it's kind of like on the technical side. Some of it's a little bit core, like the dreaded word deathcore. But I like the early Despised Icon stuff a lot. So when I'm at the gym, that's perfect.
Oh, yeah. I saw them live. Dude, they're playing, and I'm not huge into that style, but they're really tight live.
Yeah. They're a unique band too. They're kind of like Dying Fetus, but I don't think there's like another band that really sounds just like them.
Yeah.
Acacia Strain too. Like that was really big when I was in high school. Let's see. There's this band called Last Chance to Reason. They were like the now singer of Contortionist. That was like his kind of first band, and it's really interesting and ambitious. This album called Level 2. Let's see. I've been listening to New Neurosis as well. Fantastic album.
Yeah, very good. Very good.
So amen to that.
Two finger it. That's what I'm saying. I two finger that.
Something that my wife put me onto that I really have been enjoying is the Haley Williams album from last year of Paramore. I think she's got good songwriting chops. Like just full of hits, and it's really smooth. And I don't know. I just like listening to it with her. So it's something we can both bond over.
Nice.
But yeah, I'm kind of bouncing all over the place. And I'm kind of with you, Lucas. I haven't been really that into death metal lately. I just don't know what it is about this year, but it's just not the year of death metal for me.
No, it hasn't been.
Definitely more the year of like sludge.
Not to say that there's not good releases, but stuff that's like grabbed my interest has been kind of thin on the ground.
Yeah. I'm sure there's great stuff. It's just
how about the new Miscreants album that's coming out? You guys listen to Miscreants?
Really? I have a little bit, but I haven't quite like cottoned on to what the hook is. You know what I mean? Like there's like for me,
like Death Thrash band.
Yeah, they're like tech death thrash. I have everything.
Yeah, I have that first one. That one's good.
Yeah, they have their demo, their splits. I have everything they put out, man. Their new album I'm looking forward to. I think that comes out later this month or something like that. I already pre-ordered it. But that's a newer band that I really dig quite a lot.
But they're doing something really unique there too.
Yeah.
That band Species that had that album on 20 Bucks Spin last year. That's a really interesting.
I couldn't quite get behind it. I almost got it, but I did like parts of it, like elements of it.
Yeah. No, I can get why it wouldn't maybe be your cup of tea.
It's definitely unique. Here's a weird one. I know you like a lot of prog. Do you have this one? I pulled this from my LP collection. Are you familiar with this?
Comus? Comus? Yeah, I'm familiar with it.
Weird.
I don't love it.
It's weird. You know what I'm talking about? Flutes and percussion. It's a weird album, dude.
You did say no flutes and shit on that for that one record.
Yeah.
No flutes and shit.
That's a weird one.
I know Michael Ackerfeld loves that album, but
oh really?
Yeah.
That's funny.
I think it's just maybe too
it's bizarre, man.
Yeah, just like when am I in the mood for bizarre shit? You know, not as much as I used to be. I used to be more into like avant-garde, like I want to be surprised. Now I'm like just really enjoying bands that know how to write really good hooks and like have subtlety in their music. Like that's kind of more of the stuff I'm really reaching for and appreciating.
What about Devil Doll? You guys ever listen to Devil Doll
No.
from Slovenia? I think they're Slovenian. That's some weird stuff too. But more orchestral, and it's kind of a mix. It's kind of all over the place.
Slovenian, huh?
I think they're either Italian or Slovenian. I can't remember. What about what was the other band I can't find? Sopor Eternus and the Ensemble of Shadows. You guys familiar with that one from Germany?
Never heard.
No.
Oh, god damn. You guys are missing out on some.
You're picking
really
these random fucking Slovenian bands, dude. Who knows anything?
There's a good a newer band, Twin Tribes. Are you familiar with Twin Tribes? It's more gothic.
Oh yeah. I have like a couple of their records actually.
Yeah, I've been listening to them a lot lately too. I like them quite a bit.
Yeah, they're very
It's
good.
not Twin Temple, right? Twin Tribes?
No, not Twin Temple, but
Okay.
it's Twin Tribes. Yeah, two different bands for sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
God, why did I draw so many fucking lines on this piece, dude? I'm not even. We're gonna be done by the time I want to do the markers, which is the fun part.
You guys working on anything interesting that you're allowed to talk about?
I don't think so. I'm working on a lot of stuff. I don't think I'm allowed to talk about it.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I talk about the album cover that I'm working on, but the last time I talked to the dudes, they were like, "Dude, the label guy hasn't even seen the album cover progress yet. We're saving it till you're done." I'm like, okay, well, if the label guy doesn't even know what the cover's gonna look like yet, I probably don't want to announce the album yet. So I think like this, everything's still way. He's like, yeah, he hasn't even heard the most like he hasn't even heard a mix of the album yet. I'm like, oh shit.
Oh wow.
Okay, so it's like really under wraps. Okay, I won't say anything then. It'll be rad though. It'll be rad.
Is it a pretty underground label or like one of the bigger?
I think it's an underground label. Yeah.
Cool.
I'm just doing personal work right now.
Okay.
I have like some, what do you call them? Soft leads on work that will come soon, but it's not really committed, So, and I'm also just kind of enjoying doing my own thing. Honestly, I don't know.
No, I wish I was doing that, to be honest with you. I'm actually really seriously contemplating stepping back from commission work next year for an indefinite period.
It's refreshing, man.
I need to reconnect with my own like kind of creative impulses, I think, a little bit.
Yeah, you sound like a middle-aged woman who goes to Tuscany to find herself.
Yeah, well, I need to find myself, man. Maybe I need to go to Tuscany. Maybe I need to become a middle-aged woman. I don't know. I won't know till I find myself. If I find myself and I'm a middle-aged woman, then you'll hear about it.
Yeah. Eat, pray, love this shit.
Yeah.
Eat, poop, pee. Not in that order.
Almost fucking done. Marty says, Lucas, you need to go swim with the dolphin. You'll feel better. That's probably true, man.
It probably is true.
I think Marty and Al are both here.
That's sage advice, honestly. I could go swim with a dolphin.
Let's do a little drawing update. Lucas, I'm going to pop you up here.
Okay. I'm doing the little like weird, I don't know what the fuck it is. That's one of the things I love about this record cover. The weird like wooden bag. It's like covered with spikes. I don't know what that is. But I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna do that because it's like such an odd thing. I'm gonna do that.
Yes.
Get that bag, dude.
I gotta get that bag.
All right, if I may, I'm gonna kind of plug you guys. Will this piece be available for sale, Lucas?
Oh yeah, if you want to buy it, sure. I'll put it up on my big cartel.
Awesome. All right, and do you have any more of the monster books available? Or are you sold out?
I have 5 left.
Okay.
So if people want to order them, they should order them now because I have 5 left.
I was gonna say I should probably buy another one because I lent mine to a colleague, and I haven't seen it back yet. And it's been a couple months, so
Yeah,
I think it may have disappeared.
I was just about to make a post about how I still have 5 left.
Okay, I might have to score one. Of them.
Oh, and I will say, hang on 1 second. These last 5 copies will come with a sticker.
Oh, nice! Hey, that's
I got
cool.
stickers made.
Pop for own person. Oh,
That's
nice,
cool,
dude.
man.
I went to a sticker guy who I've been using since 2003 and just got some nice vinyl stickers, so you can pop this on your fucking car and it won't come off.
Hell yeah.
Oh, sticker guys, that's the
5.
vendor.
5. Please buy them so I can give you a sticker.
That's the vendor you use. Sticker guy, you said.
Sticker guy, yeah. They just do silk screen on like screen printed vinyl stickers. That's kind of their thing, but their prices are really good.
Yeah.
And they're not like sticker mule. They don't have like shitty politics. They're kind of
I heard about
Yeah,
that.
fuck that, dude.
I heard that they were a little shady or something.
Sticker guy are good. I've been using them since like some of my first bands.
Okay.
But you can't really do. The only thing with them is you can't really do very detailed artwork because it's just screen printed on vinyl sticker. And they kind of say like the line weight can't be too much finer than such and such, or else the print won't come out well.
Yeah.
But if you just want to do shit like a logo and get like a nice, like a durable ass vinyl sticker that you can put on your car and won't come off for like 30 years, they're the place to go.
Okay.
And they're, like I said, their prices are fucking great, like kind of unbeatable actually. They've been in business for years.
You said 2003 you started working with them?
That's the first time I ever used them. Was I was in a band called Knee Deep in Shit. And I needed some stickers made, so I drew up a little bit of artwork and got my Knee Deep in Shit stickers.
That's awesome.
All right, we got you.
That was an awesome hardcore band. In case you couldn't tell from the name of, we were not a death metal band.
That's awesome.
I think Threatener may have done stickers with them too. I might be doing a buddy of mine is supposed to interview me for Noxious Ruin.
Oh, cool. Hell yeah, man. Are you the featured artist?
No, I think he's doing. My buddy told me, he's like, "Do you know Brian from Noxious Ruin?" This guy I've known for like 25 years now.
Yeah.
He's like, "Do you know Brian from Noxious Ruin?" I'm like, "I know of Noxious Ruin. I've never actually contributed art because I just never have not had the time."
Oh.
He's like, "Yeah, so he wants to do a grindcore issue and he wants me to interview you about Threatener and Brainiacs, 2 of the bands that I was in back in 2000, because apparently he's like kind of a fan of those bands, or at least he's interested in them enough to ask someone to interview me about them. So it's not going to be about art. It's actually going to be about 2 bands I was in.
Dude, that's wild. That's pretty cool. Yeah, he must really have his ear to the ground.
He must have his ear to the ground. Yeah, I mean, those 2 bands they had a moment. I mean, Brainiacs, we played Death Fest in 2010.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Like those guys were into us, the dudes who do Death Fest.
Maryland.
It sucks. We broke up after that. We broke up the year later, so we never really got to kind of capitalize on that. But yeah, we did get asked to play Death Fest in 2010, and we did go. That was awesome. That was a very good time. And Threatener were just, I would describe as a band surrounded by some of the most negative energy I've ever experienced in a band.
Oh, it sucks.
Like it was kind of scary being in that band at times.
Oh,
people always wanted to fight us for some reason. every show something bad happened.
That sucks.
They used to do and they were from the other guys were all from Ann Arbor, so I was like the odd man out being from the east side of Michigan, and I used to drive out there for practice. And anytime we had like a show in Ann Arbor, there were a couple places in Ann Arbor, like houses that we would play and a couple of other places, and they would do this thing where they would buy 40 ounces of Camo Silver Ice, which is like, that stuff makes you insane. They would steam the labels off and put Threatener stickers on them and sell them at the show. And people inevitably at any show they were selling the Threatener 40s, what they called them, any show they were selling them, somebody would take one into the pit and it would get broken in the pit. And then there would be glass everywhere. And somebody would have like a nervous breakdown while we were playing. And there would just be blood like everywhere. Just like several shows this happened.
Jesus, man.
Yeah, that was just like a Tuesday for Threatener. That was kind of like just that was a wild band to be in. I was like straight edge at that time, and they were like the rest of the guys were like, like doing coke. So it was like kind of a wild experience for me. We went on tour in the West Coast and realized we all hated each other. Well, except for me and the bass player got along. Me and my buddy Mike got along really well on that tour. But the rest of the band, we all kind of hated each other. We decided on that tour, we're going to break up. We're going to try to, the most mature thing we'll do is like, we'll finish the 7-inch that we have to do for 625. We'll finish that 7-inch, the third 7-inch, and then we'll do some final shows the following year. This was 2004. So in 2005, we did a final tour with Iron Lung. I don't know if you guys know who they are. They're a very good band. With them in an Italian band called Ohuzaro, who were very, very good as well. And then we flew to the West Coast to play the Barbaric Fastcore Fest that Max Ward 65 put on at 924 Gilman. And that was also pretty badass.
You guys put a couple 7-inches out?
We put out, we had this idea to do a trilogy of 7-inches.
That's cool.
So the first, our singer was kind of a weird guy, and he had this idea that the 7-inch, the first one would be called The Hammering, the second one would be called The Fastening, and then the last record was called And the Bending of Throats. So you could put them all three together, and it was The Hammering, The Fastening, and The Bending of Throats.
Cool.
He had really very weird fucking lyrics. But yeah, the premise of the band was basically if you took like old Boston hardcore, like Negative Effects or SSD or something like that, and then just sped it up and played it over blast beats, that's what we were. It was like punk. It was like punk, but like speed picked really fast over blast beats with a guy, like a really deranged Scotch-Irish, 6 foot tall Scotch-Irish guy from Springfield, Illinois, screaming over it. Yeah, it was a thing. It was definitely a thing. I haven't really been asked to talk about that band too much, but I have stories. I have a lot of stories.
Well, so you got a good one? Give me a good story.
Give you a good story.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Is it coke induced?
I mean, I don't know how many of them were.
Okay.
So on that West Coast tour, one that pops in my head is on that West Coast tour. It just so happened that most of our shows on that tour, we were going down the coast from Seattle, and most of the shows on that tour coincided with a crossover band from Boston that was also on tour called Bones Brigade. And so we kind of just ended up kind of partnering up with them on that tour because almost all of our shows were together.
Mm-hmm.
And I just remembered we played a show in Santa Barbara, and they went fucking nuts. Like the guys from Bones Brigade and the dudes from Threatener went fucking insane at this like girl's house that we were staying at. And the house, I just remember the house got like destroyed.
Oh.
And their roadie, Bones Brigade's roadie, I just remember the next morning we're kind of like shuffling out of the house or like getting some coffee or whatever. And their roadie, this is a band from Boston, but their roadie was this kid named Texas. That's just what they called him. And he's laying on the floor. I just remember he's laying on the floor with a curtain from a window as a blanket with a huge wet spot over his crotch.
Oh my God.
Texas had a really fucking good time. Actually, he like peed off of a balcony onto some people at one point during the evening. I do remember that happened. And we get on the road to drive to, I think we were going to Texas, or no, we were going to stop in Las Vegas, and we didn't have a show. We were just they were like, we should stop in Las Vegas. I'm like, okay, we have like no money, but all right, we're going to do that. And I remember we get to like a rest stop in like California, like near the mountains. And our singer Rod, he takes his shirt off, and on his chest, he doesn't remember this happening. Someone had drawn a big cartoon chicken saying the word cunt on his chest. I have a photo of this. Him just standing there with a big cartoon chicken saying cunt. He's like, I don't know when that happened, but that happened.
Wow.
And again, that was like a Tuesday for Threatener.
Damn. Is this one of the bands that Brian wants to cover?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh God.
Oh, you got some stories for him.
Yeah, dude. Some of those interviews in that magazine get pretty lengthy, dude. You could go off, man.
Yeah, I have a lot to say. I have a lot to say. So a lot of this could be a real like VH1 behind the music tell-all, you know.
Love it.
That's cool. That should be. I mean, hopefully, you can get one of your drawings in there too. I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, I did some of the album covers too. I did the 7-inch covers for two of the Threatener 7-inches. And then that third one, after we kind of decided we were breaking up, someone else did the record cover.
What instrument were you playing?
I play guitar in that band.
You played what? Guitar?
I played guitar in that band.
Oh, okay.
Our drummer, hilariously enough, was an indie rock guy who played in a somewhat well-known Detroit indie rock band, Saturday Looks Good to Me. But he wanted to do a band that was a little more challenging musically.
Yeah.
He could play blast beats. He was actually very good at it. But he had the dyed black hair and the white belt and the girls' pants and everything. So like when you saw Threatener get out of like a van, it did not look like any of us should be in a band together. It was the weirdest fucking thing. We had this like indie rock guy with the dyed black hair. We had this 6 foot tall Scotch Irish guy, bald. It's like kind of scary. And then I'm like this like moppy headed like punk kid, straight edge guy. And Mike was like built like a brick shit house. So
oh my god.
Oh, I remember another show. Oh my god. I should tell this one. This is probably one of the best ones. So we're playing a basement show in Detroit, and there's a bunch of touring bands playing the show. There's a band from Boston, and the Boston band, I forget their name, but this dude who's their singer, kind of notorious in the scene. His name is Krusty Craig. And Krusty Craig is a little notorious for not being the either sharpest or most stable person on earth. So they're playing the show, and this band Death Toll from California, who are members of Attitude Adjustment. So they were like kind of like old guys. Attitude Adjustment been around, they were like crossover band from the 80s.
Cool.
And so it, for whatever reason, Krusty Craig's straight edge fastcore band is playing first, and they're playing in the basement, and he decides to do a Y2K thrash like jump so that someone can get a picture of him. And he grabs onto a pipe in the ceiling of the basement, and it turns out to be a water main for the house. He pulls it out of the ceiling. Water starts gushing everywhere. People start running out of the basement. The band has to stop playing. They had people who own the house had to figure out where the water main switch is so they can shut the water off. It's a Detroit show. So the show is now like nothing's happening for like hours. And it's a Detroit show, so everybody there is progressively getting drunker and drunker. So by the time we play, kids are a total mess. And during our set, I remember some crusty kid, some Detroit crusty, dumps a 40 on our bass player's head while we're playing, like the whole bottle of beer.
Oh my god!
And our bass player is like a big guy, and he just clocks the kid with his headstock and just knocks him over, and doesn't really think it. He's mad. He's like really pissed, but he doesn't think anything of it after that. And then after the show, the kid comes up to him and is like, "Man, I'm so sorry for what I did. If you wanna hit me or like fight me or like kick my ass, you can totally do it. Please, just like kick my ass, man. I feel really bad. Just beat the shit out of me, man." And like my friend Mike is like, "Fuck you, dude. I don't want to touch you. Like, get away." And this kid is like trying to goad our bass player into kicking his ass. I just remember he like shoves the kid over like a half stack cabinet. The kid falls on his ass, and like Rod kind of just steps in and like drags the kid away. But the last part of this, like Death Toll ended up playing in the kitchen, and I didn't really even get to see them because you could hardly fit in there to watch them. But they apparently on the drive home, they had given Rod a spliff to smoke or whatever, a joint to smoke, and they didn't tell him it was a sherm. I don't even know what a sherm is.
No, I don't know what a sherm is.
It is a joint laced with PCP.
Oh shit.
He didn't know this. So the guys were like, yeah, so on the way back to Ann Arbor, Rod kept trying to jump out of the van. Like, you think I could survive? Do you think I could survive if I jumped out? I bet I could survive. It's like, 70 miles an hour. He's like, I bet I could do it. Like they had to like strap him in and child lock the doors so that he couldn't get out.
Oh my god!
And that was there was a guy waving a sword around in the pit during our set too. So that was Detroit in like 2004.
Oh, that's awful.
And that was Threatener in 2004. So
jeez,
shit was wild.
Yeah, that's
Dude,
crazy.
that's-
Wild times.
I look forward to buying the issue where you talk about this shit.
Yeah.
About the Sherm.
About the
The
Sherm.
Sherm tank.
Sherm, yeah. Oh, Roderick. Now those guys all have kids.
That's funny how that
They're,
works out.
they're all like kind of upstanding citizens now, but it's really funny. I think our drummer lives in Japan.
Oh wow.
Rod he lives on the West Coast somewhere, and my buddy, his they live in Ithaca now, in Ithaca, New York. He's a librarian.
Oh.
So yeah. I'm the one who became a dirtbag artist.
Yeah. So wait, you guys think about 10 or so more minutes?
Yeah, I think so. I'm getting kind of the end of my
I'm at a stopping point. Just
yeah,
'cause
getting to the end of my juice for this.
yeah.
I feel pretty good about what I've got. So this came out fun. Like this was a good
Yeah, it's an interesting concept.
a good premise,
Yeah, I agree.
Sometimes it's nice to draw shit without having to think like way too much about it.
Yeah, or not having to like care how it looks.
Right.
It's just yeah.
Just for the sheer joy of it,
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh. But you, Mark, are you working on anything you can talk about?
I know. I mean, I think I have a lot on my. I've got a lot on my plate, but
Yeah,
I think
I know the feeling.
it's like under wraps for right now. I did just do a clothing collaboration with Lip Service, which
Yeah, I've seen those posts. Those are cool.
yeah, it's an old brand that's been around since '85 and one of the first alt clothing brands. Mostly catering to like back in the '80s, they cater a lot to like the glam scene.
Yeah.
Guns N' Roses and Poison, those bands would rep their stuff, and then they got more into gothic industrial scene in their early 2000s.
Interesting.
So they're still active. Their owner killed himself
Oh wow.
a number of years ago, and then the brand got picked up and is still functioning, but they still try to stay true to the original owner's vision.
Nice.
And I've been working with them for a while, but we just did a more formal clothing collaboration. So it's kind of fun. It's a little bit different. It's challenging too because I never really saw myself doing illustration for like women's clothing, for example. Like that's
Right.
something you never really anticipate. But that's the product caters to all genders, but some of the products we just did on the collab, dresses and things like that.
That's neat.
Awesome.
Awesome.
So that's out, and trying to think. I just did something for Mortal Decay recently. That
Oh, those are cool, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, like print them on shorts, I think.
yeah, I think they might do a shirt too.
That's cool.
Let me check my production schedule. I don't know if there's anything I can really speak to. I don't know. It's like some stuff for record label, some collabs with some clothing brands, some RPG or whatever you call it, tabletop type stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's about it. Still doing some band stuff too here and there.
Right.
I work with some bands, but yeah, most of the stuff I can't really talk about right now.
Yeah. I get you. I feel you.
Do you guys want to do a final show and then wrap
Yeah,
up?
Sure. Yeah. Final
Yeah,
show and
cool.
tell.
All right, Mark, you're up.
Oh yeah, I'm a little blurry. I apologize. My camera's not great, but yeah, 8.5 by 11 paper. Yeah, it's not perfect, but I think it serves a purpose for what we're doing here.
That's great, dude.
I'm
Fantastic.
okay. It's just I would have put more concentrated effort in it if it was a legitimate request. But I think this would probably reproduce okay if it was like on the 7-inch EP or a demo tape or something like that. But I'd probably draw bigger and put more time, effort, and detail into if it was gonna go on a legitimate LP. But yeah, it's a fun project. It's cool to interpret something that is out there in the wild and kind of see it through your own lens. I have to say though, one of the reasons why I did pick this probably is because I could see an alternate version of it. Like a lot of album covers are so etched into my brain, it's hard to see past what's already in existence.
Right.
This one was a little easier for me to play off of. Otherwise, I probably would have done like Death or Pestilence or something like that, But but this is fun.
Hell yeah, dude! It's interesting. I feel like I have like the opposite opinion of what you were just saying. Like I can't imagine any other cover besides what Altars is. For some reason, that one's like very cemented in my brain as it is. But this is fucking sick, dude.
Still have the disc motif and then the faces and stuff.
Right.
Try to give a little nod to what Dan Seagrave originally intended with it. So.
Hell yeah, man! All right, Lucas.
Yeah, that's what I got.
I love the K.
Dude, that is so killer, man. Your sense of like darks and lights, it looks so perfect, man. It looks so like that'd be an awesome cassette repress of that album or something like that. That'd be awesome for a cassette cover.
Thank you. Just drawn for the pleasure of it. Hope the pleasure of it comes out in the drawing,
Oh, hell yeah. It looks awesome. I also like the way that you faded out the legs and the arms on the life form, just because sometimes that can be hard to do to know like, well, where do I end it without it looking too abrupt? It's that you have a nice true like softness and gradient to it that looks perfect.
Yeah, I knew I couldn't fit the whole thing in, and I like to kind of vignette things out if I'm not going to fit the whole thing in. So just kind of let it fade out a little bit. Awesome. And also partly too, it's like focusing. I end up focusing on the areas that are the most interesting to me as well. So like the head and the torso are were kind of the parts where I thought I could embellish and kind of make it look really kind of lush and but also like weirdly like withered and dry and have a lot of like kind of viney or kind of root like plant like tendrils kind of making the texture. So that's partly too. I always kind of decide where I'm going to put my visual focus, and then that usually kind of determines if I'm going to do that kind of like fading out, how I handle the fading out. But yeah, it's mostly I wanted to do that torso a lot.
Yeah,
weird rib cage.
The faceless element too, like you were describing earlier, it just gives it.
It's creepy, man.
It's otherworldly. Yeah, it's very creepy is a great word. Yeah.
Hey, dude, I love that.
Yeah, me too. Man.
Thanks, guys.
All right. And
hell yeah.
Just fucking lines, dude. So I want to.
It's a great foundation, though. You know what I mean? Like that's a really, really killer foundation. Like, you should finish this one, right? I'm like, you're gonna finish it.
I think I should. Yeah. I think I want to hit markers on it, man. I think that'll like have a nice atmospheric look to it, and I don't want to do all the hatching and all of that. So, I think maybe I'll tackle it tomorrow.
I really like the way you're handling the fluids at the base of the drawing, sort of the blood. It looks awesome. Like I can see where you're starting to hit it with your darks there at the bottom.
Are you gonna do color on this, or is it just gonna be black and white?
Color. Well, I'm gonna do what I'm thinking is red and then black and white. So it's like because
But are you gonna do like, if you're gonna do that, are you gonna do like are you gonna do black and white brushwork, like kind of gradient brushwork?
I was gonna do I was gonna do different markers.
Oh,
I
okay.
think
So, okay, that'll kill. That'll be killer. Yeah, that's kind of what I meant. It's like you're gonna do kind of a grayscale gradient for the black and white portion, and then have that like really saturated red kind of really pop.
Yeah, I think it'll look kind of comic booky. Maybe a dash painting like, I don't know. Do you guys know the artist Dirty Iron? I think he's a Chinese artist. But I think he does a lot of stuff in Copic markers, and he does like just grays. I find his work really inspirational, so I kind of want to do like a little bit of that kind of flavor.
That looks awesome.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, I would definitely like to see that finished.
Yeah, looking forward to the post, man.
Appreciate it, brother. All right, let me change my camera. Man, I'm kind of white, dude. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, I should probably do that.
It's a lot sometimes. For everybody who is watching along, drawing, I think this time around we definitely got really deep in our own work. So I wasn't like popping up the comments. I was looking at them. Really appreciate you guys all chatting and stuff. I hope you were finding the stories interesting. I know Lucas's stories were fucking great. But yeah, thank you guys. Even if I didn't really pop up the comments, I was looking at them and stuff. I was in the zone.
Yeah, thanks everyone for popping in.
Yeah,
It's nice to have a supportive community.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Well, until next time. See you guys. Thank you again.
Peace.
Bye.